Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I am Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is powerful parallelogram Dan Ryan. Yeah, you heard me.
Yeah, okay. It's just it'll come to me later. I'll be like, oh, okay, that was funny. Never mind.
It's time for the penultimate Stone Age starter kit. This time focused on the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4.
This was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Not going to lie.
That's what she said.
Oh, no, she didn't. She was like, nah, it's a little floppier than I'm used to, but okay.
Got medications for that these days.
You're in your 40s. It's understandable.
If you had just $100 to start a physical PS4 collection, which games should you get? Figure out what Phantom Pain is. Figure out what that Phantom Pain is, because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now.
Are you watching Gen V?
No, I'm not. I know I should be.
You
but
should be.
We're in the middle of too much other stuff.
There's a good Phantom Pain joke. I just finished episode 4 tonight, and oh boy, I'll tell you. Don't fucking... Yeah. Okay, anyway.
It's on the list. We just finished Our Flag Means Death, because that episode just went up yesterday. We just finished Jack Ryan. Which I got to tell you, I was way more lost in this season. I usually only kind of half pay attention to Jack Ryan and am able to piece it together for the most part. I was way more lost in this season. There was a lot of people who looked exactly the same that really were very different characters, or maybe they weren't, and I was just even more confused than I thought. But whew, boy, oh boy. Hey, this is episode 487. It's the week of November 3rd, 2023. How you doing, Dan?
I am fucking tired, Kris. I'm tired. That's where I'm at. It's been... So, at some point over the last, I don't know, decade or whatever, have fucked up my shoulder to a point where... There's just no repairing it at this point. I don't think. I also haven't gone to a doctor about it because, I don't want to.
It's just over.
Well, because here's the thing. My mother, who I haven't talked about on the show in a very long time, for reasons. Go back and find some older episodes. They're funny, I promise. My mother had a degenerative disease in her joints, which it appears has been passed over to me, which I think I've mentioned more recently than certainly anything talking about my mom. But by the time my mom was in her mid-50s, which is we're a lot closer to than we used to be, Kris. I don't know if you're aware of that, but oh boy, is that number fucking getting closer, and I don't like it. By the time she was in her mid-50s, she had 3 knee replacements, 1 shoulder, and was about to get the other shoulder done, and both hips. All of that was artificial by her mid-50s. And she started with the replacements, like artificial joints and shit, in her 40s. And she started with her knees. And my knees are awful most of the time. But the knees, at least, I can continue to lose weight. I can continue to get a little bit healthier. And that will take pressure off of them, right? So I can kind of prolong the knee pain. The shoulder, however, I can't stop using my left arm. It's just not a thing I could do. I am left-handed. It is my dominant hand. It's just not a thing I can do. So, short story long, I have given up sleeping on my side. I used to be a side sleeper. I would always sleep on my left-hand side. That's just the way that I got comfortable. So I have switched over to being a back sleeper. But I'm really bad at it because I don't have a gallbladder anymore to cause me pain. But I do have nerves in my back that I can twist up from the stupid way I fucking slept earlier this week and like woke up and I just hurt and it sucked. And I was like, oh my God, what is attacking me now? Is it a pancreas? Is it a kidney stone? What could this pain possibly be? Like, I was freaking out. And Tiff was like, because she had come in, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. She didn't have work the next day, so she was being a dirty old stay up. And she was like, no, I came in here and you were all twisted up like a fucking pretzel the way you were laying. Like, your legs were all akimbo and shit. And like, oh man. And I fucking, like, I was like rubbing on my back and whatever. And I think I fucked up like a muscle in the small of my back. So my shoulder hurt because I had like rolled over and was laying on that, and my back hurt. And I was like, fuck it, dude, I can't even fucking sleep right. This is bullshit. And it fucked me up the rest of the week. The rest of the week I've been exhausted.
Oof.
That sucks, right?
That sucks. That sucks hard.
It's just
I am also a side sleeper.
Oh, I fucking love it. I love sleeping on. I hate sleeping on my back.
Yeah, I can't.
Sucks.
I'm not good at it.
I didn't used to be able to do it, but my shoulder hurts. Like there were a couple times over the last couple of years where, because that's the other thing. Like, this is not a new pain. This is like 5 or 6 years into like my shoulder just kind of hurting most of the time. And there were a couple times over the last like 5 or 6 years where I would wake up in the middle of the night because I had been laying on my shoulder, and I don't know if I had been having a bad dream or just a dream or whatever, but I was like, kind of tensing in my sleep or whatever, and I would fucking Charlie horse like all the muscles around my shoulder and shit. And then like you go to like stretch it out and kind of like do the shoulder shrug and slowly rotate it and whatnot. And when I rotate my shoulder and like really try to like stretch out the muscles and shit around it, it sounds like a fucking mortar and pestle. It sounds like I'm grinding pepper in my fucking shoulder. Which I've come to find out is not. I don't know. Do I have shoulder pepper?
That sounds efficient.
I've come to find out that that's not how a shoulder is supposed to sound.
No.
Who knew that it wasn't supposed to sound like you're fucking grinding up marbles? Like, God damn it. So, yeah. It just threw me off because then I was exhausted at work the next day because I barely slept, so I doubled up on the coffee, which meant I didn't go to sleep when I'm supposed to go to sleep because I'm a fucking crazy, like, I'm weird about that shit. Because I need to talk to someone, Kris. I need to schedule some time with a professional, because if I drink caffeine after like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll be up till 6 in the morning because I'm an asshole. But like, I had extra coffee that day, and then I couldn't get to sleep till like 1:30 in the morning and had to get up for work. It's just the whole thing is gone to pot, Kris.
Well, that's a heck of a statement there. Gone to pot. I like that.
Gone to pot, as it were. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a...
But then, like...
Oh, go ahead.
No, but the other side of that coin is, like, Loki was really good this week. Gen V is really good.
Caught it yet.
Oh, it was really... Nah, it sucked. I'll lower your expectations. It was fucking terrible. I don't know what they're thinking. Ugh, can't even believe that Moon Knight was in this episode. Made no sense. It was very weird. I'm just kidding. He definitely wasn't.
Just threatened me with a good time. I fucking love Moon Knight.
I know. I'm sorry. I realized that was not a good, I don't know, fucking NFL Super Pro was in this episode? That's fucking weird.
Again, you're not underselling.
Dr. Manhattan? I don't know. It's a terrible comic book character.
Honestly, I can't think of.
I was going to say, who could guest star in Loki where you'd be like, oh, this is dumb? Because, like, even Green Arrow. I love Green Arrow. It'd be super fucking weird. It'd be like, what is he doing here?
Thinking, like, Jack McCoy from Law & Order? No, that'd be fucking great.
No, that'd be awesome. Jack McCoy is a fucking Kang variant. He who argues? I don't know. I've never seen Law & Order. I assumed he was a lawyer.
He was, yeah. District attorney.
Okay, good. So he who
assistant district attorney. Well, now he's district attorney. Was the assistant district attorney.
Is that President Bartlett's husband?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for going with me on that journey, because I cannot remember either actor's name or the name of the show where President Bartlett is a gay man married to the assistant or the leading district attorney.
Oh, God.
It's a funny show, though. The Netflix one?
It's two women. It's Grace and Frankie.
Grace and Frankie. It's fucking good. It's a really good show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
With those two ditzy old broads. Love them. Those dames. Oh, I'll tell you. I did play a bunch of Jedi Survivor this week. And, man, if you like that first game, I'll tell you, this is right up your alley. If you were a fan of the first EA Star Wars game, this is just a lot more of that. But with the ability to change Cal Kestis's hair and beard.
Oh, well, thank fucking Christ.
Because, like, I mentioned last week that you could take the beard off. Little did I know, Kris, that I was going to be able to spend in-game currency to buy different beard styles and hairstyles. It's wonderful. I am currently rocking long hair and a full beard. It looks very sexy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm leaving it right there. I said it.
Okay. Look,
it looks great.
Okay. You do.
It's odd. You can do like a fucking high and tight with a mustache. It's very strange. It's very strange. Like, you spent time on this. You dedicated resources to hairstyle. It's a fucking choice. It's whatever. But no, it's actually, I am enjoying the game quite a bit. Like, they tightened up the controls. It definitely feels better to play. I just unlocked so I had 3 stances up until like Wednesday night, I think, is when I unlocked the 4th stance, because you can do single lightsaber, double-bladed lightsaber, 2 lightsabers, dual wielding, and I just unlocked a blaster and lightsaber stance. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm going to dual wield and do the blaster and lightsaber. This is awesome. So, like, there's a bunch of different combat options, right? You can kind of play the game a little bit differently, depending on what you're more into. Like, Katie was yelling at me that I wasn't using the double-bladed lightsaber. It's like, I just don't like it. It's not for me. It was cool for Darth Maul, like, and then for me, like, I don't know. I prefer the dual wielding or the blaster. But I also just started reuniting with the crew from the first one, because you start the game off and, like, Grease and Seer and Marin, the Night Witch, like, your crew, they're not with you. So you, like, eventually you make your way to this planet and, like, you get Grease back, and it was just like, oh, fuck yeah, like, I miss this guy. I love Grease. He's awesome. And then I just went and visited Seer on this other planet and met the Jedi Master, the Eno Cordova, that they were talking about a whole bunch in the first one, and unlocked this old dude who, like, instantly turned to the dark side, and I was like, oh, well, fuck, man. That sucks.
I love really interested old dudes.
I know you do. You didn't know you were into this, sir, but you are. I have unlocked you. I'm really interested to see where, like, because this game is official, and correct me if I'm wrong, Star Wars whore that you are, but this series is canon, right?
Yeah, it's canon.
Yeah, like, it's officially part of the storyline, yet the Disney Plus shows have not mentioned Cal Kestis, and he's kind of done some shit. Like he fought Vader a little bit in the first one. So I'm really interested to see if they kind of, by the end of this game, resolve Kestis' story and why he is not present in any of the other media. Or will he eventually show, like, are they going to do the Dave Filoni movie where they bring Ahsoka and Mando and, like, is that dude who plays Cal Kestis? Like, is he going to be a live-action Cal Kestis? That would be fucking cool.
Anything's possible.
Into it. Yeah. So I'm really curious. I don't know. We'll see. It's a good game. I like it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you like it. The whole thing about the galaxy's pretty big. I mean, like, it's all kind of centered around this one little area here, but I'm pretty sure they mentioned there was something from the game in one of the shows recently. It was an Easter egg, and I can't remember what it was now. But there's definitely
the Zepho. Wasn't it like the Zepho temples? Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of the locales from the game or something like that. So it's definitely in the same universe, but, I mean, Cal fought Darth Vader. Who the fuck hasn't?
That's fair, but, like,
when you get into the comic books, like, Darth Vader's fought like everybody he's ever met.
He just shows up and he's like, "Hey, Steve, come here. You want to fight?" Ah. He's like your fucking drunk uncle. It's weird. Stop touching me, Uncle Vader. Damn it.
Stumbling, half drunk. Good times.
Give Uncle Vader a hug. No, I don't wanna. I could make you. Like, all right, fine.
Have a force hug.
Man, now I really want a fucking drunk Uncle Vader comic. That would be really good. Be into it. I have on the flip side of that flip side though, I have been very angry with Marvel Snap recently. Mostly because I have most of the cards in the game, right? However, they continue to release a new card every week. But I talked about it, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, however fucking long ago it was now, where they changed the card acquisition system to these, like, new spotlight caches, or you can just straight up buy things with tokens. And for a game that is constantly, weekly introducing a new card and trying to shake things up, the last new card that I did not purchase with money, because we also get way less tokens than we used to, so I am saving them for, like, the meta-defining card, whatever the fuck that may end up being. The last new card that I did not purchase with physical money was in the, like, middle of September. Was the last new card I got in the game. So we're like 6-7 weeks on from that now. And what sucks about it is that they're 12 card decks, and you can't play duplicate card. Like, you can't own two of the same card. Okay, so you can't put two of the same card in your deck. And I think I talked about this before they changed the system over to the spotlight caches. There was dupe protection. You could not pull the same card. Once they changed it to the spotlight caches, you could pull the same card. If you did, it originally converted to a variant. Now, if you pull the same card, it converts to 1,000 collector's tokens. So you can use that in a future purchase, right? So the last new card I got was Eliath. That was, and again, I could be wrong on the timing, but I think that was like the middle of September. And then every week when the spotlight caches come around, they're like 120 collection levels in between each spotlight cache. So it's not like you can average, if you play and complete your daily missions and the shit, you average about one a week. Okay. When you go to open a spotlight cache, there are 4 options. There's the new card of the week, two other cards that are Series 4 or Series 5. And if you own those two cards, there will be premium variants of those, which basically means they're not going to be pixel variants, which suck, and they're very ugly. And then there is the chance for a random Series 4 or 5 card. And that could be a card that you have that would then convert to tokens, or it could be one of the cards that you don't have yet. So theoretically, if you are not collection complete, every week you have at least one chance of a 50-50. Either the new card of the week, a random card you don't have, or the other 50% are variants of cards you might have, okay, if you have a lot of cards like I do. So the last new card I pulled was Eliath, and then the very next week I pulled Eliath, so I got 1,000 collector's tokens, and then for the next couple of weeks after that, I pulled variants, and then this week I just opened up a Spotlight Cache and got Eliath again. So it's like, fuck, man, like I've pulled the same new card, quote unquote, 3 times out of these Spotlight Caches, and in a game that is consistently adding cards, to not be able to get new shit easily, or not even easily, but just in a way that fucking makes some kind of sense, doesn't feel great to play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I either have to drop a ton of money to up my collection level, which I'm not going to fucking do. I already spend, my $10 to $15 a month on it or whatever. I shouldn't have to pay much more than that to get a new fucking card, and I shouldn't have to hoard these Spotlight Caches, because anytime somebody brings this up on like Twitter or Reddit or whatever, the fucking corporate dick suckers come out in full force, and they're like, well, if you want the new card, you just save up fucking 4 Spotlight Caches, and then you're guaranteed to get the card that you want. It's like, well, fuck you. That doesn't feel good. That's not a fun way to play a game, honestly. Like I have to resource manage for over a month to get 1 card out of 4 that I actually want. Like, that's fucking weird. And if I can pull multiple copies, then I should be able to put multiple copies in my deck. That's kind of how that works. Like, I pulled it. I don't want to give it to you. Convert it for tokens. I don't want to. Fuck you. I want to put 2 of these in my deck. So, I don't know. It's I still like, I really like the game. It's really interesting. There's a lot of really cool cards, and it's fun because it's short and the game cycle's so good and all of that. But just the lack of being able, the built-in FOMO that comes from that they are engendering in their player base to then get people to spend more money. Like, look, I don't begrudge a company for making money. Certainly. Like, we talk about that all the time. Make money. You have to provide for your family. You have to provide for your employees. You have to keep the lights on in your building. Like, nobody is telling you not to make money. Just don't be a fucking cunt about it. Like that. It's cool. Like, it's cool. I like your game. I give you some money a month, but you're being a dick, and it's just not cool. All right, I'm done. That's it. That's all I had. Good night, folks. That was a really negative way to end it. I didn't mean it to be so negative, but like it just kind of sucks,
Yeah, that does sound rather unfortunate. I am glad I'm not involved in it. For lack of a better way to put it.
No, for sure.
I'm not really involved in anything that is like that. So I'm glad that just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's, pad kind of like the level that I'm at in pad now. Like, my pad playing has certainly dropped quite a bit because the North American server has not gotten, and it's always been this way. We've gotten most of what Japan has gotten, but there have been a couple of collabs that we missed that had some key shit in it that kind of made it harder to team build because you're missing kind of key pieces or whatever. And then lately, for like, I don't know, the last 2-3 months, whatever, in pad, every machine that has come out has been a rerun of something that we've had before. And because I've been playing this game for, close to 3,000 days at this point, like, I have damn near everything in the machine. So I rolled the Street Fighter collab, just came back for Street Fighter 6. And there's, I don't know, I think there's four or five new cards in the machine. And the machine is so fucking top heavy now. But I had stones because, like, I haven't rolled a bunch in a while. And I think it rolled, I don't know, 80, 85 stones in the Street Fighter collab. And it's a 6 stone machine. So, whatever that is, 10, 12 rolls, whatever I ended up doing. I don't remember the exact number because I don't care that much currently about it. But 10, 12 rolls in, I got one new card. Literally everything else was a dupe. And it's like, I mean, of course it was, because I have most of the shit. Like I got most of it already. So there's really nothing in here to roll.
They start making more.
Yeah, till there's more of it. Like, it's just, so because Pad has kind of dropped off a little bit, I was like, all right, well, Marvel Snap is kind of filling that, that void or whatever. That kind of mobile gaming, like pick up and play on the couch while Tiff is watching YouTube or whatever. And then that's been just really frustrating for the last couple of months. So it's like, fuck it, I'll play Jedi Survivor a bunch, and that'll be awesome, because it is.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear it is awesome. I'll get around to playing it one of these days. Someday when I have a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series. But that is not this day.
I can't see that coming to Switch. I don't think so. Maybe
its successor. Yeah, maybe they'll put both of them on the next system.
That I could see that maybe. It is a really, really pretty game. Like, I'm playing it in the visual mode, whatever that's like. I don't give a fuck about being locked at 60 frames a second. I could not care any fucking less. I never have. And honestly, I don't know how you feel about that, Kris. I think you're in the same boat as me. I would rather it look better and run at 30 frames a second, because I can't fucking tell the difference.
I mean, I can tell the difference between 30 and 60, but it's not a deal breaker. Like, I know everyone's super pissed off that Metal Gear Solid 2 and the new collection isn't running at 60 frames per second on Switch, and I'm like, I don't care.
But why? Like,
why doesn't it run at 60 is a very good question. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about that Metal Gear collection, but, like, honestly,
yeah.
As long as it's consistent, like, I don't care if it's 30. If it's 30 frames per second, as long as it's a steady 30 frames per second and not, like, getting all chunky, then I'm fine. I don't need it to look like the most amazing 4K 120 frames per second. I just want it to be consistent. That's all I need. And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played a game, like a modern game, and been like, oh god, this just isn't 60 frames. I couldn't fucking tell you the difference. I couldn't. I really couldn't. I'd rather it look better, because it's not like you play Jedi Survivor and you put it on the visual mode and you're like, I mean, it looks great, but it's fucking unplayable at 30 frames. Like, no, it's fucking not.
I think,
and you don't need to be super precise in that game. Isn't
once
that
it drops down to like 20 frames per second or 10 frames per second, we're like, okay, well, now your game is looking pretty choppy, but there ain't nothing wrong with 30 frames per second, as long as it's consistent.
There just isn't. And they're also, I don't know what the level is, but there's a level of imperceptibility because of the limitations of the human eye to where, like, it gets to a certain level and you can't see a difference. It's like, oh, this is like 8K. Like, is it? Maybe.
I will take your word for it.
I don't fucking know. Because, like, we're at that point almost with televisions where you can't make it look any better.
It just looks like life.
Yeah, which is great. That's awesome. But, like, but fucking stop it now. Stop. But you can't stop because then how am I going to sell you a new TV? You had 4K. 4K, that's fucking old shit, you fucking douchebag. Get 8K, you prick. I'm like, nah, I'm straight. I'm good. Thank you. I'm driving.
I haven't even gotten 4K yet.
Oh, no? Well,
No.
Oh, Jesus, Kris. You are missing the fuck out.
I'm sure
I
think technically my TV in my living room is 4K. Technically. But it's a $300 RCA I bought from ShopRite on Black Friday a few years ago, so I don't know.
I'm telling you, man, you fucking hook up a Nintendo with some with some fucking AV cables or whatever, some component cables to your 4K television, those pixels have never looked fucking straighter. Tell you what. See every jagged edge.
Like I got the TV that's next to me here in my basement, my Panasonic Plasma TV. That was my first HD TV, and that is, 12 years old now? They don't even make this kind of TV anymore.
No.
And I can't tell the difference between the picture on this TV and my one upstairs that's supposedly 4K. I can't tell the difference.
I mean, like, I am just being kind of shitty about it. I can definitely tell the difference when I'm watching a 4K signal versus just a regular, whatever HD, 1080p, whatever signal, whatever the fucking difference is, because I don't care. I can tell the difference, but again, like you said, it's not a fucking deal breaker.
Yeah,
like I won't watch shit in 4.8. Like I'm not gonna watch shit in standard definition. I'm not a fucking plebeian, but come on now. I was going to say poor, but I am poor, so but I still got my 4K TV. I mean, I'm a poor, Kris, but not that kind of poor, you know.
You know where your priorities lie.
That's right, in my entertainment.
Because if I didn't have that, then I would just be crying.
Then I would have to read a book. Ugh.
What's that kind of time? Ugh.
No, I know. Who has the time?
Not me. I tell you.
I am actually listening to the fucking Thrawn's, whatever the first book of the Thrawn trilogy is, the Star Wars books. It's really good. That's not fucking news to anybody. It's a 30-year-old book, but like it's really fucking good.
Let's see. First chunk of this week was like a real race to the finish for me with this project I've been doing for work. We were reorganizing the website for the last couple of weeks, and the November sales are going to be starting next week. So we we really had to get
the color sales, like the chartreuse Friday and shit. Yeah.
Turquoise Friday's up first. And so we've been working on the flyer and stuff for that and making sure the sale is going to be set because we do this all month long in November. So we had to finish this category thing that we set out to do. So it was a real race to the finish, and I got it done, but I was working like non-stop. Like, the moment I get up, I'm just like just cranking and finally finished it this week, and I got my first good night's sleep in a while. Didn't realize quite how stressed out I was over making sure that got done. But it did get done, and I think the site looks great. It's much easier to maneuver and shop right now, which is exactly what you want. And then I had been... I just did the exact opposite of what I promised myself I was going to do, but I'm approaching it in a different manner. So I haven't really done much game playing at all this week.
Sure.
The only thing I've really played is a little bit more of Hat in Time and a little bit of Mario Wonder, because every now and then I just needed a break of just pure serotonin, and that's Mario Wonder.
Sure.
Like every time I boot up that game, I'll do like one or two levels, and even if I get stuck on one, like just keep going back looking for the secret. Like, all right, what is I'm missing? I know I'm missing something. Where is it? Like, that's even fun. Like I'm having so much fun, just pure fun with the game. It's just an absolute joy. With the exception is one thing that's really bothering me about the game is the badges. And it's not the badges themselves.
Okay.
They're fucking great. It's that every time you do anything, your little Prince Florian dude It's like, hey, you want to change badges? You have this badge is equipped. You press this button and you can check out your badges. You should change your badges if you want to do badges. It's every time you start a level, every time you end a level, every time you get a new badge, every time you think about a badge, every time you lose a life, every single time. And like, even when you lose a life, it's like, it will stay on the screen of like, select your badge. Like, I don't want to change the badge. I just want to get right back and do what I try. I was just trying to do something tricky, and I fucked it up. So let me try again without pressing this extra button to say, no, I don't want to change my fucking badge. I just want to get back to the game.
I'm good on the badges.
I will tell you when I want to change the badge. It reminds you constantly about the badges, and I don't understand why. Annoying. It's like it was like in Skyward Sword, when every time you'd start playing the game after you turn it off, it'd be like, this is a rupee. It's currency in the Legend of Zelda world.
I know, motherfucker.
I know. I'm 320 hours into this game. I know what a goddamn rupee is.
You fucking
I saved the game. I didn't get amnesia. What the hell's wrong with you?
I didn't get a head wound, you fucking cunt.
I just went to bed for the day. Jesus Christ. But outside of the really annoying badge thing, the game has just been a fucking treasure. So, and it has gotten a lot of Mario thoughts running through my head. I gotta make video content. I gotta write about things. So that's what's going through my head right now is Mario stuff. And I was just, one night when I should have been sleeping, I just got this weird bug in my head, like, one of these days I'm going to do a Mario retrospective, and that's going to be a real fuck. And then I came up with the list, and I was like, what if I just did a 2D Mario retrospective? And then I came up with that list, and then I was like, well, I'm not really missing that many games. What if I just did a Mario Brothers, like, adventure platformer kind of thing? Like, cut out all the tennis and sports and everything Donkey Kong, and just did that. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm doing this now. So I scripted and started a Super Mario retrospective that's going to be 11 parts. But I am not doing what I did with the Zelda franchise, right? First off, Zelda games are longer than Mario games, so finding the video footage in general is going to be a bit easier. But more importantly, I am not holding myself to a super strict schedule this time. I'm doing fewer games per episode, and I'm just going to do like max 4 or 5 games per episode, and they're Mario games, and a lot of them are smaller things or fewer. And it's like every 4 weeks I'll do a new episode or something. Like, I'm giving myself as much breathing room as I need to not get stressed over it. Now, of course, this week I'm slightly stressed trying to get the first episode up because I'm behind on everything because of the other work project of getting the website organized. And for the record, my bosses at Stone Age Gamer are not holding me to this schedule. This is just my psychosis doing this. This is me, all me. If I say, hey, Ryan, video is going to be late this week, he's going to be like, who are you? No.
Yeah, for the record, for once in his life, Ryan is not being a fucking prick. That guy is literally the worst.
No, he's not that.
He is. He's
a goddamn treasure. I love Ryan.
I am talking shit. I did. Oh, I forgot to mention. I'm talking shit. But I did get my Retro Fighters controller in, and I did play a bunch of retro games with it, and it's fucking awesome. And I got my T-shirt, and I love it. And thank you, Ryan. And who
that
else
was
sent
Andy,
it?
Actually. Ryan had nothing to do with
fuck
that.
Ryan. Fuck Ryan. That's what I'm saying. Right?
Ryan doesn't even know. That was all
worst.
Andy.
Oh, he is just the worst. Just a terrible, no good, rotten human being.
How very dare you.
Thank you, Andy. Ryan, we'll talk. I love you.
So let's see, where the fuck was I? Super Mario Wonder. I'm so exhausted, but I also recently I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but it came to my attention that I have like a lot of vacation time to spend before the end of the year.
Yeah, you have something like 9 weeks of vacation, and there's 8 weeks left in the year.
Yeah, like I just didn't didn't plan this at all. So I'm taking I think not this coming week, but the week after off, which will be nice to just kind of recuperate with life, because it's been kind of a whirlwind these past couple of weeks, and the whole thing with the scheduling with the videos this weekend is going to be like just nonstop fuckery. I got like trunk or treat was tonight with the kids, and then tomorrow morning Ellie's got cheer practice, and then tomorrow afternoon Ellie has a cheer football game. It's like the local homecoming game, and then I'm making pizza.
Oh, that's exciting.
And then Sunday, we're driving up to North Jersey for their cousin's birthday party. So, like, my weekend is just, awful. I have no weekend at all. It's just completely kaput. Which bums me out, because all I want to do is play Mario Wonder. And I mean, no offense to A Hat in Time. I do have to force myself to play that game, but mostly because... Well, sure,
but Mario Wonder came out.
Yeah, Mario Wonder came out. And like it's just like, well, this is pure joy, and why wouldn't I want to experience that as often as possible? But also, Dave the Diver came out this week.
Oh, yeah.
John,
and that is
was
Switch
counting down the days.
Exclusive for a little bit, right?
Console exclusive. I think it's been on Steam for a while, but I believe it is Switch console exclusive for now.
For like 6 months or something like that.
Something like that. I'm sure it'll be on everything eventually. I haven't touched it. John's been playing it as much as he can, which really just came out yesterday, so he put a bunch of time into it last night, and that was about as all he's been able to do. But I can't believe how thrilled he is. Like, he was counting down the days for this game. Like,
that's wild.
And it's that's awesome. Different from what I would expect. Like, he's into all the aspects of it. He's into the bancho sushi, and he's into all of it. And like, this is so weird that you are so into this game, like, and all the aspects of it. It's not like he's just focusing on this one thing, like fighting sharks or whatever. Like, that's what I would imagine he would be just into, but he's playing the whole thing. He's reading the story. He's just into it, and that makes me very happy. I'm glad it's making him happy.
Can you get him to try sushi now?
Oh God, no!
Because he's super into it. No, okay, like
no, he is flat out. I've said, you said you want to try sushi sometimes. Like, oh God, no, absolutely not.
That's such a shame. Sushi is so fucking good.
I'm not the hugest fan, but that's
I know you're not. Like, I didn't know that for a fact, but I did know it was true.
I did.
Like, I would have bet my house.
I did actually try. My old bosses at the comic shop, actually, they were like, we're going to take you to a good sushi place, and we're going to feed you some good sushi. And if you're ever going to like sushi, this is it. And like, I appreciated what I was eating. I was like, I can understand why you think this is good. The flavors were great. It was the texture that I had a hard time with, because that's me. That's my big problem, is texture. There was like one of the ones that had cooked fish in it. I was like, this is fantastic. I don't remember what it was, but I ate like a couple of those. But any of the raw fish ones, like, I really did try. I gave it real serious effort, but it was just not happening. Also, I was just, as I usually do when I'm scrolling through Facebook while we're talking, just looking for funny pictures. Somebody is giving out ramen packets for Halloween, and I think I'm going to do
that. Yeah, that's pretty great. I wouldn't be mad at
chicken or beef.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Right? Who's going to be upset about getting some ramen?
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I am absolutely good with that.
I really hope shit goes okay, because as of this afternoon, there's some rain theoretically on Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's 40%.
Well, and it's also supposed to be 55 fucking degrees, at least by me.
Yeah, where it's not going to be pleasant. No, it looks like
I'm kind of excited.
Where are we at? Like, okay, so it looks like right now the rain is holding off until like late at night. So as long as that holds, I'm fine.
Right.
Because I want the kids to be able to, go out and do some proper trick-or-treating. That's what I want.
Yeah, sure.
So the thing with the trunk-or-treat at our school, it has gotten so huge that, like, we were waiting in line I took one of the little parking lots that had the car set up. The line was an hour. We waited in line for an hour. And I was like, John, we can just, like, go anytime you want. He's like, no, I want to get the candy. I came here to do that. He was hell bent on this mission.
I'm doing the fucking thing, Dad.
Like, we could just go to a store and buy candy at this point. This is fucking ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. The lines were just out of control. There's so many people. But, he was happy. Ellie actually kind of gave up on it, which was weird, because she was like, I have enough candy. I want to... She sat at our friend did one of the cars, an 80s themed car. And Ellie just sat and checked off people's cards, because they go to the card and like you check off that I went to this car.
So you can't fucking like double dip and shit.
Exactly. And she just really wanted to sit there and sign off on the cards, so that's what she did for most of the time we were there. She was happy as a pig and shit. Very strange, but yeah, good
Training
for her.
for her future life in bureaucracy.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's everything I have. I feel like I'm forgetting something important, but yeah, it's just been one of those weirdly draining weeks. I've been trying to focus a little bit more of my energy on exercise. I didn't get it. I still didn't. I got back into what is a Ring Fit last week. I didn't get anything this week. I didn't have any exercise this week in Ring Fit, but I have been keeping up with a few weeks ago, I made this mission. It's just like adding it to my daily routine of like, these are the things you do every day. Squats, sit-ups, and push-ups. And have not missed a single day, no matter how much I wanted to, of doing I'm up to eight of each every morning. 8 squats, 8 sit-ups, 8 push-ups. And I started adding like some light weightlifting to it this morning too.
Okay.
And
trying to fucking get jacked in your old age.
I think more than jacked is less than jacked, more of just like, functional. I think that's really what I'm aiming for. I want to have enough.
If I tried to do squats now, like I could do one.
Squats, I could do pretty much.
I don't think I could do the full squats.
My legs are in pretty decent shape and have been for a while. It's the upper body. It's always been a huge weakness for me, and like I'm kind of tired of not having any upper body strength, and I'm just going to kind of work on that because it's a good way to get out frustrations. So, I'm just going to do that.
Well, and honestly, like Evan and I were talking about that before you got on the podcast tonight, just about your lack of upper body strength and how disappointed we both are. So it's nice to see you finally addressing that after all these years of our concerns falling on deaf ears.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
Prick. Love you.
Hey. Well,
no, I get that, man. Like it's hard to, especially because this is something that I don't even know if we realize it, right? As we get a little older, as all of us are, specifically I'm talking to you, audience. That's right. The clock is ticking. That's depressing. The fucking seasonal change where it starts to get darker earlier. Like, we're just more tired now, Kris. Because it's dark out.
I have been so tired.
Because it's dark out. That's why.
Well,
you don't even think about it. Because it happens every year, but...
Karen helped me figure this one out. I was... I also...
No, you got to put your leg over here. Like, oh, okay. All right. Now I can slide right in.
Over the last week and a half... I've also jumped back into the. It was funny because I was moving my leg as you were saying that. I was like, "What is he?" Oh, okay, all right.
Karen and I talk. Where do you think she comes up with half of this shit?
But so I was having real problems staying awake during the day. Like besides the fact that I wasn't sleeping well, but then once my sleep got a little better, I was still so tired all the time during the day, and it's because I went back to my no more snacking, no more desserts, except on like 3 days a week thing. It's like, I cut out all that sugar that I'm hopelessly addicted to. That's why I'm tired all the time.
So I don't have all this energy.
You need sugar because I don't know how to make energy without it. So
well, and
I'm
you
going
won't
through
drink
the sugar
coffee
withdrawal.
like a fucking adult, so.
God, I hate coffee.
I know.
Boy, do I love
but
the
it's
smell,
bean
though.
juice. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. So it's getting a little better. I'm like, all right, things are moving forward. I'm gonna continue to just get used to this. This is the amount of sugar that I'm going to have in my life. So, just working on it. Just trying to be in better health, because why not? Why not stay alive to actually catch the heat death of the universe? Right?
It's so funny that you're talking about this currently, because I'm now going to send a picture both to the SAG chat, and I will also post it on the Discord of what my wife just randomly brought down to me as you were talking about getting healthier. Because we do this all the time, right? Of like, haha, look at this picture, isn't that funny? Which is terrible radio. So I'm going to post it to both places. So here it comes to you. I don't even know what this is yet. They're like fresh out of the oven. I think they might be filled with something. Yeah, but I think they're filled with something. This fucking sexy ass Dick Tracy mug. It's good stuff. Post it to the Discord as well. I'll do that on the break though, because now I'm going to munch.
Never does this. My wife never brings me treats. I
think
think
my
she
God,
doesn't
it's
like
real
me
fucking
good.
Well,
while Dan is munching tasty treats, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about PlayStation 4. We're going to do the PS4 starter kit. You had $100 to make a PS4 physical collection. What game should you get? We're about to find out. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around. Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
All right, we're back. Dan's still eating cookies. I'm still not eating cookies. And I probably should have gotten more water, but that's fine. It's fine. We're going to do the PlayStation 4 starter kit.
If you had this is fine.
$100 to start a physical PlayStation 4 collection, what games would you get, assuming that you had whatever technology or peripherals you would need for your parallelogram-shaped system? Just no imports, just North American stuff. Like, look, we understand that this is just for the sake of conversation. This is not a thing that we're saying this is the best way to spend your money. I don't know, we didn't used to have to clear this up, but it seems like the farther we've gotten into this, the more we have to clear it up to make sure that we're not actually recommending this is how you spend $100. This is a theoretical,
I am
conversation experiment. Well, Dan isn't. I am. So apparently, I have more games than Dan does on this list. How many? I'm
really curious. I had 10.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
I had 10 games, and it came to exactly $100.
Yeah, I'm also at exactly $100. And right. I will go first with the PlayStation Hits version of Doom for $3 whole.
I mean, it did not make my list, but I can't really argue against it. It's pretty great.
Doom 2016 is a phenomenal fucking game, and playing it on PS4 is just, it's wonderful. And for $3, $3, come on, that's a ridiculous price for that game.
It's a good way to spend $3.
You've got
$3 in your car right now.
See, here's the thing about this list. There are a lot of like important PS4 games that I just flat out have not played. I do not have a huge grasp on the PS4 library. So a lot of my list is like just going off of general knowledge or what little I've seen, or things I know about the games. But Doom, I played that game start to finish on Switch. So yeah, there's no question that and that game was phenomenal on Switch. So there's no question in my mind the PS4 game is well worth $3. Ta-da.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that it's really hard to argue against Doom for $3.
Yeah.
Didn't make my list. Good pick, though. Solid pick. The first game on my list. I didn't even fucking finish the word there before I started. Go to the next one.
First game on my list.
My list. Lisp. That's when I get. That's the thing. Anyway. When I get drunk, my actual Hispanic accent comes out, and where my people are from, we're supposed to fucking lisp. That's everybody Castilian Spanish. They fucking lisp. Anyway, I have to like constantly work not to do it. Regardless, first game on my list, Kris, is Bloodborne for $11.
Okay, I've heard
$11. Bloodborne. It is right. So the Souls-like games that are just incredibly popular right now started from Dark Souls, right? Originally on the PlayStation, and as time went on, it just became more and more of like a pretty identifiably Sony thing. I believe that Dark Souls and whatever and Demon Souls and all of that shit, like I think all that eventually was on other systems. I think Bloodborne's on other systems. I don't really know because I don't pay that much attention to it. I could
Demon
be
Souls, I believe,
wrong
is
on that.
Only on PS3. Dark Souls came to everything, and in fact, Dark Souls even got an amiibo, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's right. But Bloodborne is still only on PlayStation.
Yeah, I think Demon Souls and Bloodborne. Let's see.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Bloodborne. Yes, PlayStation 4.
Okay. So this is a From Software joint. Hidetaka Miyazaki is the director from it. And I mean, this is just like, this kind of created a new genre of game with like the Demon Souls and Dark Souls and all of that shit. And Bloodborne is kind of like From Software kind of operating at their peak, right? And this was such a huge release and something that they could not have done it earlier than when it came out. And what's nice about this is that this was a game that was incredibly hyped, incredibly anticipated, And then it came out and everybody was like, yup, it's fucking everything we wanted. This is awesome. And for $11, it's one of those things where my list, I kind of went through and found like these are the games, and it kind of worked out. This was really hard. There were a lot more options than I thought there were going to be. So I wanted to kind of hit on like these are definitive PS4 experiences. Bloodborne is absolutely one of those.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there. It occurred to me to put a Souls-like game on here.
It is not for you.
But
yeah.
I have something that I think it's not really that. I have something vaguely similar to that I put on the list. So, but that's coming down the road. No, my next one is, I have to assume this is on your list. The PlayStation Hits version of God of War for $9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I haven't even played the game, and I know it has to be there.
Stupid good.
And I just went with the first one because that's where we're doing a starter kit, right? I'm not going to say start with Ragnarok. Just the regular ass PS4 God of War, not God of War for PlayStation 2.
But God of War.
God of War, not God of War.
God of War.
God of War. Or the upcoming God of War. On the wrong syllable. Yes. And for $9, it's worth it's clearly worth every penny, even though I don't know for sure from firsthand. But yeah, come on. Yeah.
It is inarguable that it is one of the games that you simply must have on the PlayStation 4. There is literally no argument against it. I would argue that it is, if not the best game on the system, then it is in the top 2 or 3. There are some arguments that people will make for what is the best PS4 game. For my money, it kind of jumps between God of War and another game that I have on my list that we'll get to that I would imagine is on yours too. But yeah, like what's crazy about this game is how well they were able to take what you expected and flip it on its head and give you something that, because when you heard it was like, all right, well, Kratos is in Norse mythology now. It was like, oh, that's fucking cool. I know exactly what that's going to be. And no, you didn't. You didn't know. None of us did. And what they were able to deliver storyline-wise, if you had played through the original God of War series, was so much more impactful. Just the story beats, and when you finally get the fucking Blades Chaos back, and there's just this unbelievable moment of going back into your cabin and getting, like, unearthing the past, right? Like, it's just so beautifully done, and just everything about this game fucking hits. But even if you haven't played the old God of War series, if you were brand new to it, this game is still fucking incredible. And for $9, it's stupid not to have it.
Agreed. That's why it's on my list. So what's next 100%. On yours?
Next on my list, I'm actually going back up in the app. I actually have 2 more before I got down to God of War. So I will give you... Should I give you both, I guess?
Yeah, hit me.
I don't know. All right, well, the first one, and this one I kind of waffled on a little bit. I cut... And this is weird for me. I cut Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, for Death Stranding. And the reason I did so is because Death Stranding...
you're a kook?
...is so fucking weird. It's just such a bananas-ass game. And my assumption here, and I know this... maybe not necessarily in the spirit of this segment or whatever, but my assumption is at this point, if you're playing along and you have spent your $100 every month on the games that we have suggested, you've played a Metal Gear Solid game by this point. So if you haven't played, or if you have played some Metal Gear Solid, but you haven't played Death Stranding, you really fucking should. I don't know why. I can't. I don't have a good compelling reason other than it is just unlike any other game you will ever play. It is the weirdest, most out there, nonsensical, whatever. How the fuck did Katie describe it back in the day? A balderdash or a fucking cacophony of balderdash or whatever my child described Death Stranding as. Balderdash was in there, and she was absolutely correct. This game is nonsense personified, and it's wonderful. I fucking love this game. I love it. I love how weird it is. I love that this is Hideo Kojima being like, I am just going to let my freak flag fly and come along with me on this journey, man. And oh God, it's just fucking awesome. I love it. You should have it. It's $7. For $7, the mind fuck that happens, totally worth it. Better than mushrooms. It is. I wouldn't know, but it is. It's fucking great. And then I'm actually kind of surprised. My next game, I mean, surprised is not the right word. I find it curious, maybe. I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima. That should absolutely be on everybody's list for PS4. Absolutely. That game is a stunning fucking achievement for Sucker Punch Studios. It's $14. It is. I'm not going to go so far as to say it is in the top 5 or the top 3 PlayStation 4 games, but I do think it's like top 5. It's right outside of that. Ghost of Tsushima was such an incredible game, and the attention to detail, all of the little just nods to old school samurai films that were like, that felt like that they were in there personally for me. Just an absolutely incredible game. It plays just perfectly. The control is perfect. The camera is fucking great. The voice acting is great. Graphically, it's stunning. It has perhaps, for my money, the best opening scene of any video game that I've ever played. Like, I put the opening of Ghost of Tsushima up there with the opening of A Link to the Past. Like, that's how good I fucking think that opening scene is. As you're just riding through this field of flowers and you fucking lean over and, like, you're dragging your hand through the flowers and the fucking title screen comes up. It's gorgeous. It is a gorgeous fucking game, and I cannot wait to see what Sucker Punch does next. I know you have no experience with it. I know you haven't played it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought about it, but no, it ultimately didn't make my list, and that's probably not the right decision, but it's the one that I've made. So.
It's just games like Ghost of Tsushima and God of War are why I feel so strongly about there not being console exclusives. Like, have it exclusive for a year, 2 years. But then this should be everywhere. Whether you have a PlayStation or not, you should be able to fucking play this game. It's that good.
I believe you. Isn't it on PC? Is this one of the ones that they put on PC at this point?
I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to that, honestly. I am only recently of the, like, able to play games on a PC persuasion. So, I don't know. I would have to imagine it is.
Huh.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You're incredible.
Thank you. All right, what you got next?
Horizon Zero Dawn for $7.
Me too.
Look at that. Big shocker. Tell us why Horizon Zero Dawn should be on everyone's list.
It is an incredibly well-made game that has a very, I think, deep story. I think the fact that they leaned into the lead female protagonist who was not a sexy blonde bombshell, but was like just a badass fucking chick, is really cool. The world that they created, the creativity that's in there is awesome. I love the way that game plays. I love the bow and arrow style focused combat. I know it got a lot of comparisons at the time to Breath of the Wild, right? Because it came out a couple weeks apart, I think. Yeah,
they were real close to each other, but they're pretty different kinds of games. Like they're similar in they're in a lot of superficial ways. They're very similar.
Yeah,
but in the way you actually
open
play
world
them,
traversal and but they got a lot of those comparisons, which there was that, and I think we had that conversation on the show back then of is Horizon Zero Dawn like Sony's Zelda, and no, it's not. There are different. There are differences, but it is a game that I think kind of scratches that itch, that sort of more exploratory, because Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn are on the surface relatively similar open world, third person, action adventures. God of War doesn't really fit that just because of I don't think anyway, because the camera positioning, the story driven narrative, whatever. I think it's a little bit different. But Horizon Zero Dawn, it feels, while being in a similar genre, feels just worlds apart from something like Ghost of Tsushima. And I understand the Zelda comparisons. I've made some of the Zelda comparisons, certainly. But it definitely is its own animal. And the blending of, just like I said, the world building, the blending of the nature and technology, I just thought was so fucking cool. And for $7, you'd really be missing out. It's a hell of a game.
Yeah, I was not able to really get into it myself, not for lack of trying, but that was, again, it was pretty easy to recognize why it was such a beloved game. It's not that I didn't get into it because I thought it was bad. It just wasn't really grabbing me. But yeah, everything you're saying about the world building, I really like the look of the game. I like the look of the world that it's in. It's one of those games that doesn't just look good because it's hyper detailed on PlayStation. It's just got a really good style to it, especially in the creatures. It's a cool thing, and I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, the giant fucking dinosaur mech technological shit. It's just really fucking cool. It's a really, really good game. All right, am I up next?
I mean, technically, but I think I'm still ahead of you on games here. So I'm going to go ahead and crank this one out, which I'm pretty sure isn't on anybody's list, and that's Katamari Damacy Reroll for $12.
Man, I thought about it. I did.
It's a fucking weird choice, but it's one of the best games ever made, hands down. And this is just the best way to play it. And fuck it, I know it's $12. I'm sure there's better examples of what the PS4 is capable of, but I say fuck it. If you can have Katamari Damacy on your list, then you should have Katamari Damacy on your list. So there, I put it there at $12. Is it a smart move? I don't fucking know. And I'll tell you what, I guarantee my next game's not on anybody else's list either, but I went with it anyway. So here we are. Katamari Damacy Reroll.
No, man, I can't fucking argue with it. It's not on my list. I had to cut it. I didn't want to, because I fucking love that game. I fucking love Katamari. It's just, man, it's not as perfect a game as Tetris. It's pretty fucking close, in my opinion.
It's pretty high up there. I adore it with all of my heart. How many you got left?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Fuck, I lost count because I'm drunk. Start over. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 left.
Oh, yeah, I got 8 left. All right, fine. Fuck it. My next game is Mega Man 11. $10.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nope. I got 2 in between that. So you give me, all right, tell me why. Yeah. Fuck, this wasn't even in consideration for me.
Exactly. I feel like nobody likes this game as much as I do. Look, Mega Man 11 had the Herculean task of being not only a sequel to Mega Man 8, which was the last modern Mega Man game, but also a sequel to Mega Man 10, which was an 8-bit throwback. Mega Man 11 had to be something that looked like a modern game, but was a sequel to both a super retro style game and a weird evolution of a super retro style game. And I think it pulled it off with extraordinary grace. It's not an incredibly long game, but it is a modern Mega Man game, and it is goddamn good. Mega Man games are great, and this is a great example of what Mega Man can be on modern hardware. I am sad that it hasn't been followed up yet, because it really put a lot of good things in motion. And if this was like kind of a new beginning for the Mega Man franchise, it would have been great to see them follow up on this with the power that they have at their disposal now. But either way, I think Mega Man 11 is an excellent example of what you can do with an old franchise on modern hardware without radically reinventing what it is.
All right. Son of a bitch. Hard disagree. I fucking love Mega Man. I do. I fucking love Mega Man. But, man, I mean, this game, you might not have put the first word in there. I don't know. Whatever. We'll get to that one in a second. But before that, this game was also on my PS3 list, but it's $2 cheaper for the remastered version on the PS4, and that is The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's a very hard game to get through for me. It is a fucking great game. Naughty Dog, I don't know what kind of fucking wizardry, because they're all boys, obviously, so wizardry, that they pull over there at that fucking studio. But man, they don't fucking miss. They just really don't. And man, like it is not necessarily a fun game to play through. But man, it's just great. And the remastered version on PS4 is I think, even with like the new PS5 shit and whatever, like this is the best way to play it, because it's $9.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting a fucking masterpiece. Like, without question, this is one of the best games, certainly of that generation, and certainly on this system. And then for whatever else I said about it on the PS3, go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah, I've heard everyone talk about it, but no, fuck it, Mega Man 11.
Yeah,
I know I'm wrong, and I don't care.
Yeah, I know you very well might be. All right, what you got next?
Metal Gear Solid V, The Phantom Pain for $7.
It's definitely V.
Oh, it V's so hard. Look, I've never played this game. I believe it's got Kiefer Sutherland instead of David Hayter, right?
It does.
That's the one where they were like, hey, 24 is popular. Fuck this guy. Let's put a celebrity voice in Metal Gear, because that's what the series is missing. I don't know if this or the other one is the better flavor of Metal Gear Solid 5. I was so far off the Metal Gear Solid train at this point because it had gotten so far off the rails. I didn't even think it was a train. I think it was more boat than train at this point.
But yeah, you're not wrong. There's a lot of helicoptering back and forth to your base, which is floating in the water. So it's boat adjacent.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I like Metal Gear as a franchise. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I like Metal Gear a lot. I'm really looking forward to replaying the original games at some point on this new collection, but it seemed important to have a Metal Gear game on there, and I sure as shit wasn't putting Death Stranding on there. So for $7, the Phantom Pain it is.
It is very well documented how much I worship at the altar of Mr. Kojima. And as with that being the case, it's good. Metal Gear Solid 5 is good. I don't think it did anything interesting or new or different enough, comparatively speaking, to have that sort of experience versus Death Stranding, I'm going to go with Death Stranding every time because that game's just so fucking weird and different. And they're not the same game. Like, there's definitely DNA in there that you can, pick through and whatever. But, yeah, I mean, Metal Gear... Oh, my God, excuse me. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a really good game. It is a really, really good fucking game. But there are also times in that game where you just get lost wandering the desert on a horse. And it's like, all right, this is a little weird. At least in Death Stranding, I'm like, I don't know what to do next, so I'm just going to go deliver some packages. Like, I'm going to climb this mountain and fucking give this guy his mail. That's what I got. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm not arguing. I'm just counterpoint, I guess.
Understood. What do you got?
All right. Well, I'm going next. For $14, I am going with the absolute, without question, only way you should play this game. And that would be Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was.
Shadow of the Colossus for $14. I mean, because we discussed back, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A year ago, we discussed the PS2 list. And should Shadow of the Colossus be on the PS2 list? And it absolutely should not, because that game is unfucking playable. And then a few months later, we discussed should it be on the PS3 list? And it still fucking shouldn't, because the PS4 version of that game is finally the game that it was supposed to be. And
that's the one that works.
Oh my God, it's so fucking good. It's so good. It's everything. If you were around back in the day when Shadow of the Colossus came out on the PS2, and you could see the strain that the PS2 was under to try to, like, it was smoking, it was fucking weird. Like, the strain that game put on that system, there were tears. I didn't know a system could cry. And that's when I learned empathy.
I did, because I've played 32X before.
That's fair.
System but like screamed at me every time I turned it on.
Because it didn't want to. It was, no, don't make me do it. These games are not worth it, I promise.
I am an abomination.
I shouldn't exist.
Let me die.
Let me die in peace. You fucking prick. Try to play some weird port of some shit you don't even really like. It don't need to be on me. Anyway, Shadow of the Colossus, $14. The game is actually playable on the PS4. And it looks great. It fucking controls beautifully once you get used to the fucking weird, like, Shadow of the Colossus nature of it. Oh, God, just what a game. What a fucking game. It's brilliant. I love it.
It's a good call, and I'm actually kind of sad I forgot about that one. But I'm not going to change my list now, because that was $14. Now, my next game was only $12, and that is Nier Automata.
Oh, nope. I don't have that.
I have not played this game, but a few folks that I know have and swear by it as just being another one of the best games of this generation. And it's been on my list of things to try because it does look interesting to me.
Me too. I have it.
But again, I don't have any firsthand knowledge, but I do know for $12, this is what I put on instead of like a Dark Souls game or something. This just seemed like the right thing to do in my heart of hearts.
I can't argue with that one either. I know a lot of those same people, Chris. You're not the only one who has people. Fucking waving that around in my face. Look at how big it is. It's just like you. But no, like people that absolutely like, oh, you haven't fucking played Nier? Like it's a game you just got to play. I just never got around to it. Was something I considered for the list, but I did cut it because the next game on my list. Do you have any other S games by any chance?
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible that the next game on your list is Marvel Spider-Man for $14?
It is not, because I filed that under S instead of M. But no,
I said S.
Oh, well, I still have 2 other games before that.
Oh, okay, well, do those. And then
Ratchet
we'll
and Clank
edit out
for
the part
$8.
where I said Spiderman.
Spearman, Walter J.
Walter
Yeah,
J.
Ratchet
Spiderman.
and Clank is $8, and that was the first game I saw on the PlayStation 4 that actually looked like a next generation game that couldn't be done on the PlayStation 3. It's
I get that.
franchise that has never grabbed me as much as it grabs other people, but it is one of those quintessential PlayStation licenses, and for $8 seemed like pretty solid deal.
Yeah, it's one of those evergreen franchises at this point. You know, like a new PlayStation comes out, there's got to be some Ratchet and Clank in there somewhere.
Yeah, they're going to keep cranking them out.
Yeah,
going to keep clanking them out. Next one on my list, though, before Spider-Man, is one that I feel very, very strongly about. It is all of $5, and that is Sayonara Wild Hearts. This is
I knew that was on your list.
One of my favorites of this generation. I can't believe that it's only $5, because most of the stuff that didn't make my list was like, oh, here's a really good indie game from this generation. Nope, physical copy is like $80. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But Sayonara Wild Hearts is only $5, which is criminally undervalued. This game is amazing. It is just such an astonishing mesh of music and video game that works so unbelievably well, with a great soundtrack, really, really good visuals, excellent choreography. It's just an amazing experience. And one that really, really, really defines this entire generation of gaming. Doesn't define it, but it is a really great example of a different kind of game that this generation of gaming was able to produce with a degree of quality that I don't think it could have been pulled off on in earlier generations. I have it on Switch. I've replayed it a dozen times. It is just a fantastic game, and it's $5, and you should absolutely get it. And while you're at it, you should get Spider-Man for $14, because even though I have not played it, it is an No, I have played a little bit of Spider-Man, didn't I? Yeah, I played a little bit of this when it came out. It's a neat game. It didn't grab me the way that it grabbed most other people, but I think it really has a lot to do with my personal taste in modern games and really not having a taste for them. But boy, is it a well-made game. There's
it's so good.
Two ways about it. Spider-Man is good stuff, and just an incredibly important piece of the PS4 library. Gotta have it.
Well, and as I was saying earlier, between God of War, The Last of Us Remastered / Horizon Zero Dawn, and Spider-Man, like, those are the top 3 games I think released for the system. And I kind of waffle between what I think is the best game on the system, and I waffle between God of War and Spider-Man. That game is that good. It really
keep talking about waffles. I want waffles.
I fucking love waffles. Nice big Belgian waffle. Good and fluffy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
bacon
good
or some pork roll. Yeah.
Fucking Marvel Spider-Man. Because that is the way that they put it on there, and that's the way I alphabetized it, but I skipped it because I thought we would get there eventually. It's just, it's an incredible game. It took everything, because there have been some really, really good Spider-Man games. Like, it's not like we were sitting there hurting for good Spider-Man games. The original PlayStation... Right. Yeah, he just really isn't. The original PlayStation, Neversoft, Spidey games. The first one is incredible. The second one is good. It's not nearly as good as the first one. But then once we got to the PS2 era, Ultimate Spider-Man is a really fun game. The movie games were surprisingly fun, specifically Spider-Man 2. What is it? The Web of Shadows? Is that the fucking time travel-y one, or Shattered something? I don't fucking know. It's got a bunch of like edgy sounding fucking subtitles or whatever. But there's the one with fucking Spider-Man Noir in 2099 in it. That game's really fucking good. Like, we hadn't been hurting for good Spider-Man titles. And then along comes this new Spider-Man game, and it's like, oh, okay. All right, never mind. this is, oh my God, this is just incredible. Even just swinging around the city is so fucking fun. The story is great. I love that they focused on Mr. Negative as the villain, right? It's Mr. Negative and Doc Ock in the first one. But just giving Mr. Negative some love. A really cool villain. Certainly way more modern in the Spider-Man canon than, his classic Rogues Gallery and whatever. But just a really, really cool villain. The way they incorporated Miles into it. The fact that when you put on the cartoon suit, he moves like a cartoon in the world. It's just so fucking cool. I absolutely adore this game. It is as good and as defining for Spider-Man as Arkham Asylum was for Batman. And it kind of helps that they have a similar fighting style in both of them, but man, just what a fucking fun game. And for $14, Jesus Christ, there's just no argument against it.
I don't have any arguments against it. It's on my list.
That's fair. Well, how many games do you have left? I have 2 now.
I also have 2.
All right. What you got next?
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for $8 because I really like sliding down hills.
That's an awesome game. I love it.
It's great. If you like Jedi, or if you are a fan of sliding down hills, when really who isn't, this is the game for you.
Lousy with hill sliding.
Really? Oh, and squeezing through crevices.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch of that too.
You got to load the rest of the world. That's actually
Cal Kestis squeezes through tight spaces. And there's a really adorable droid.
And Grease. That guy's fucking awesome. Little guy, fucking sweet, bad hairdo, 4 arms. What's not to like about him?
I like the Dathomir chick at the end, which I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty great. She's pretty good stuff too. Yeah, I liked that game.
Yeah, no, I think that game, and I know this might be blasphemy to like PC players and whatnot. This, I think, was the first time it felt really good to be a Jedi in a Star Wars game. Like it felt natural to do the Jedi things, and the lightsaber combat felt good, and the force pushes and pulls and interacting with the world, and like pulling, like there would be a stormtrooper shooting at you, and it would have the big like fucking plasma shield up around it as it's shooting at you, and you just force pull them all the way over to you so you can fight and all that. I just thought it was such a fun game to play and exist in that world, and it just felt so good. Whereas, thinking back on older games, even like the Apprentice, what's the fuck's the other one? With the Apprentice was Starkiller.
Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed. Like that one was okay. Like they're okay.
Yeah,
they're pretty good. They're fine.
I mean, honestly,
Jedi Fallen Order is just so much better.
I don't think a whole lot more of Fallen Order than Force Unleashed, but it's been a long time since I played Force Unleashed. I know I wasn't as impressed with Fallen Order as most other people were, but I do recognize that it is a solid piece of entertainment. And that Cal Kestis, he's got some red hair.
He does. And for $8, dude, like that's a really, really good price. That did not make my list because what I went with instead of that one was Tom Raider, the definitive edition for $9.
Oh shit! I forgot about Tomb Raider. That was good. That's a good call.
Man, that is such a good game. Also on my PS3 list, but you get the definitive edition on the PS4 for $9. I think that game is one of the best games that has come out in the last 15, 20 years. Like I really honestly do. It's such a smart reboot. The PS4 edition, like it's very rare. There are a couple games that I have platinumed in my life. Like it's less than 10 because I just don't have that kind of time. I really don't. There are 2 games, though, where I have gotten the platinum on 2 different systems, and that would be the original Guacamelee and the Tomb Raider reboot. I have platinumed that game on both of the systems that it was released for. It's that fucking good. It's just a beautiful game. And it plays like with the power of the PS4, more specifically the PS4 Pro. It's just a very enjoyable way to spend, a bunch of hours living in that world, and it just plays so fucking good. It's the most fun bow and arrow combat in any video game that I've ever played. And that's right, I am throwing shade at Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Chris.
I mean, I guess Link's crossbow training doesn't count. It's a crossbow.
It's a crossbow. It's a totally different thing.
Totally different animal.
Thing. Yeah. Now, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Brilliant.
My last game is Uncharted 4 because I assume it's good and it's $5 and that's what I have.
That was also my last game. That was I had $5 and I didn't spend a long time making the decision between Uncharted and Sayonara Wild Hearts. But I did pause briefly and think, should I? And then I went, no, it's Uncharted. It's just Uncharted 4 without question. That game's fucking great. Do you like the Uncharted games? You'll fucking love this one. It's amazing. It's absolutely an incredible game. It is such a good wrap-up of the entire journey that Nathan Drake has been on. Oh, man. It's fucking awesome. I know that this, like the last couple of console generations that we've talked about here, have gotten a lot of flack for that. It's more like a movie than a video game. Like, yeah, it is to a certain degree. That's not necessarily a bad thing when it's done this well. This might be like the best voice acted game that there ever has been. The fucking twists and turns in the story, it's oh my god, it's amazing.
They should make an Uncharted movie.
They really should. Oh wait, they did, and it was also fucking awesome because it made as much sense as the fucking games did. The only issue that I have with the Uncharted games is that Nathan Drake's body count by the end of this franchise is fucking staggering. It's Joseph Mengele levels of fucking destruction.
Damn near a war crime.
It without question. I submit to you, if you did not get the Joseph Mengele thing, you don't maybe know enough about history, but my God. It is absurd how many people you just mow down without pause, without thought, without question. Nathan Drake is a sick fuck. But the games are really fun. It was a hoot. All right, give me your list top to bottom. Let's do a quick recap.
Doom, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Mega Man, Goddamn 11, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, Nier Automata, Ratchet & Clank, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Spider-Man, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Uncharted. I consider the Tetris Effect, but not at $20. And like
Mega
Dick said,
Man,
a handful of
God 11.
A handful of like indie games that were just super expensive now. That's about it.
Yeah. All right. I had Bloodborne, Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us Remastered, Marvel's Spider-Man, Shadow of the Colossus, Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, and Uncharted 4, A Thief's End for the grand total of $100. I had to cut
Did you put The Last of Us under T for the?
No. I said Horizon Zero Dawn and then The Last of Us.
Oh, right. H
then
comes
Marvel,
before
Spider-Man.
L.
Yeah. It very much does.
I'm really tired, Dan. I'm really, really tired.
The hardest cut, Chris, that I had to make on my list was Hollow Knight at $25.
Ooh. Yeah,
that was the hard.
Beefy.
Just
get it digitally. It's fine.
Yeah, I just really get it digitally. And that's kind of the weird thing of like there are a lot of really good games on the PS4, but the really expensive ones are digital games that you can get for like, I don't know, $5. You know what I mean? Like, don't buy them physical. I mean, do, but I don't know. I cut Gran Turismo Sport, Hollow Knight, Infamous Second Son. I really like the Infamous games. Those are really, really good. Kingdom Hearts 3, Little Big Planet 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, MLB The Show. I pick a flavor. I cut 20 because that was a $4 one. Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, because I like the story mode. It's fun. It's stupid. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Until Dawn. Such a cool fucking game. I love those story-driven, you know, kind of choose your own adventure games. Until Dawn's really, really great. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection that has 1, 2, and 3 on it, because that's only $8. And then the other really hard cut too was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. That game's $11. Like I really had a hard time going back and forth between Bloodborne and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, because that was such an identifiably PlayStation franchise, and the previous remake or HD whatever collection of it was absolute dog shit. And this version that came out, and it came out like right, I think like right when COVID hit, kind of right at the beginning of that. And it was just such a fun way. Like, I'm home, I have to be home, and I'm fucking playing Tony Hawk, and it's awesome. It's such a good collection.
Well, let's see what the listeners had to say. We did get a couple of folks pop in on the old Discord. Where'd that go? Here we go. So, Duroc Pig, we've got Ace Combat 7 for $12.99, Alien Isolation for $10.96, Death Stranding for $6.95, Detroit Become Human 13, Horizon Zero Dawn for $6.62, Last of Us Remastered, Metal Gear Solid 5, Resident Evil 7, Spider-Man, Uncharted 4, and Until Dawn came out to $99.64. They cut Mass Effect Andromeda, Shadow of the Colossus, Astro Bot Rescue Mission, Mortal Kombat 10, Tetris Effect, and Night in the Woods. Ace Combat 7 sold me on PlayStation VR. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a top 10 all-time game for me, and Death Stranding helped my partner and I get through the pandemic. Death Stranding has no right being as addicting as it is. Again, I will take your word for it.
It really doesn't. It's, God damn it, I've never played anything like it.
A good list there, Duroc Pig. Chronoden, we have, this was actually harder than I expected because there are a lot of really cheap, really good PS4 games. I intentionally left off some games that would definitely be on other people's lists, like Call of Duty, because blah, or The Last of Us, because I have zero desire to play that, thank you very much. But there's still a ton of great gaming to be had on the cheap on this thing. Dishonored 2 for $4.43. I had about $95 and change to spare, and I sorted by lowest price, and I was surprised at how many great games were under $5. I went with this one because I already had Uncharted 4 on my list. Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age for $9.87. The definitive edition is definitely worth it because of the fully orchestrated soundtrack. The mini versions here are not great. If nothing else, but it's twice the price, so I went with the original. If you like JRPGs, then you can't go wrong here. Final Fantasy VII Remake for $14.96. I've said this before, but this is one of the most memorable gaming experiences I've had in the past 10 years at least. I loved what they did with this, and it did not feel incomplete, even though we know there's more to come. Cannot wait for the sequel. God of War PS Hits for $8.99. I actually haven't played this remake. One day I will. It's a pretty quintessential PS4 game. Horizon Zero Dawn for $6.62. Another big-time game in the PS4 library. I haven't spent a ton of time with it, but was very impressed with what I did play. Jedi Fallen Order for $7.87. Flawed, but the best single-player Star Wars game in a long time. Looking forward to sitting down with Survivor at some point. Nier Automata for $12.70. This game is awesome on a number of levels. That is all. Red Dead Redemption 2 for $15.75. Yet another I didn't play this, but I know it's great entry. Gotta have it. Spider-Man for $13.57. It's getting downright gross how many huge games are on this system. Uncharted 4 right? for $4.88. Under $5? I feel like I should buy this game and leave a tip. It's so cheap. A game of this caliber should not cost less than a cup of coffee. Total $99.64. Well said. Trashman, you guys should just do starter kits through the Switch. I'm not doing a Switch starter kit. I scrapped a traditional kit for titles which are harder or impossible to acquire physically on other platforms. Some of my favorite game soundtracks ever. Undertale for $32. This game is an enigma. Oof. It won't win any points for visuals. Most mechanics aren't anything special. The menu system is old as time. I think, personally, older gamers have a harder time getting into it. Yet it has near universal acclaim. It's innovative in ways you just don't really understand until you play it. The story is outstanding. It rewards you in ways you weren't expecting. Just go play it. It is on my list.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great game.
Binding of Isaac Afterbirth for Afterbirth Plus for $29.
What a fucking wild ass game.
Take a biblical Hebrew story, put a twist on it, and then mix it with The Legend of Zelda's dungeon structure. Randomize everything, and you get the Binding of Isaac. This game was built by people who are partially insane, but like in a good way. You can play it for 500 hours and still have only half unlocked or discovered. The aesthetic puts some people off, which is understandable. Other roguelites might have more polish or modern mechanics, but Isaac is still unequaled. And Bastion for $39. 3 talented young men once worked for an exceptionally arrogant and corrupt overlord. Through their strife, they formed a kinship and decided to set on a quest. Forging a new path, they took a chance and built a team of talented individuals which had a vision. The result, a world lush with color, style, and intrigue, all collapsing into an abyss. Your protagonist, the kid, wakes into this dream. He heads toward the last supposed safe location of his people, the Bastion. No matter which direction he goes, his journey is narrated by a mysterious man. The secret of the vanishing world is out there. Go uncover it. That was very well put on Bastion. I rather liked that game. I played maybe about an hour of it on PlayStation 3 back in the day. And yeah, I thought it was a really neat idea, and I didn't stick with it because I'm a bad person. But yeah. He cut all the obvious choices. PS5 usually has them. They run better there. Hyper Light Drifter and Celeste. Go digital or get them on Switch. Yeah, good point. Yeah. All right. We've got one more from Jamie Hill. This was much more forgiving than Wii U. Battlefield 1, PAL, $2. This game is special to me because it's one of very few games that does a quality job of giving exposure to what it was like for soldiers in the trenches of the First World War. Excuse me. It's a pivotal time in world history and incredibly pivotal in the history of warfare. We started this war, fighting with horses and swords, and 4 years later, we were fighting with machine guns and tanks. It's pretty wild. Then we got Bloodborne, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Doom. Good call on the Doom. There you go. Dragon Age Inquisition, Fallout 4, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Metal Gear Solid V, The Phantom Pain, Ratchet & Clank, The Last of Us Part 2, the best game on PS4 in my not-so-humble opinion. Play it now. The sadness is worth it. The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, Uncharted The Nathan Drake Collection. He went with a lot of PAL games. I didn't know that PAL games were on the table for this one. And Wolfenstein The New World Order. If you like Doom and killing Nazis, because fuck Nazis, this game is for you. Total $99. Well, yeah, I'll allow it. I don't have any proof that PAL games don't work on PS4, so all right.
I don't either.
Cuts. Beat Saber, because it's only digital. Axiom Verge 2. Ghost of Tsushima. Red Dead Redemption 2. Wolfenstein 2. New Colossus. Last of Us Remastered. Hades. Diablo 3. And GTA 5. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, right on. Well, thanks everybody for giving us your lists, and thanks Dan for giving me your list, and thanks me for putting together my list, which was the only one that included Mega Man 11. I'm disappointed in all you fuckers. That game's great.
You fucking pricks.
Every last one of you. Play Mega Man 11 and then play Sayonara Wild Hearts. God damn it. And that's our show, everybody. That's going to be it for me because I am half asleep and half dead. Trick or Treat took a lot out of me. There was a lot of standing and a lot of walking.
Jesus,
and I
Chris.
just don't have... I didn't even get any candy. I got a Rolo.
That's not enough.
It's not
enough. You want more than a Rolo.
I do. It's the weekend. I'm allowed to have sugar on the weekend. That's my thing, man.
Everybody said you were.
Everybody. That's our show. Join us next week when we'll be talking about the next game in our Alphabet Super Series, A Hat in Time. I've got quite a week ahead of me. We're on most social media platforms. I really do. I don't know when I'm going to find time to do it, but I'm going to find time. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I'm going to do my very level-headed best. I have put time into the game, just not any hats. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us... I'm trying to shut the fuck up, Dan. I'm trying to finish the show so I can shut the fuck up tonight.
God damn it, Kris.
All my cleverness is gone. All that's left is sadness. And a desire for more Rolos. What was I saying? Get in touch with us. We aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep the show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.